Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George, or all George. So, Bitcoin is above 23,000, and it looks like it wants to keep going. Things are getting very, very exciting. So, what are the next levels for Bitcoin to shatter? Let's talk about them and talk about what's going on with altcoins and everything else that's going on today. So, welcome, guys. Wow, just look at that. Look at that. You know, when this was starting to form, starting to come up, I'm like, this pattern, is pretty recognizable. We're definitely having a reversal. We're coming off bottom, and we continue to trend higher and higher and higher. And now we're at 23,200. And I think it's pretty clear where we are heading to and where we're heading to after that. But before I talk about these levels, I did want to share about a few other things. A lot of you guys may be wondering why Bitcoin is going up, right? Yes, we're having a reversal, but why is it going up? Well, there's many reasons. I actually found 4 of them from you guys. One of them could be because, you know what? The DXY, the strength of the dollar, is starting to come down, right? We're seeing the Fed fund rate taper out. You know how we're like 4.25 and we're going to taper out around 5, right? But generally speaking, when we start seeing or hearing about that, when it starts tapering out and starts coming down, that's usually a very, very bullish thing. So there's macro stuff in play. With the dollar starting to lose strength, the possibility of the Fed fund rate topping out and coming down, well, these are great things for Bitcoin, crypto, equities, tech stocks, whatever, right? So that could be it. That investors, traders, they're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, which is then the economy is starting to get better and us being less fearful about what the Fed is going to do. So that could be it. That could be one of the reasons why, right? But also, it could be this. I mean, there's a lot of technical stuff that's showing that we are coming up from bottom. In fact, a lot of the technical indicators show that Bitcoin has never been this oversold in its history, going all the way back to the very beginning. So we have a lot of charts, a lot of indicators, a lot of moving averages that show you, yeah, we hit bottom and now we're coming up from that bottom. And these are not just like based on the day or hour or anything like that. These are based on weeks and months, right? So indicators show that we're coming up, right? So that's good. And of course, yeah, there's a lot of other patterns, right? Not just indicator patterns, like this bull flag that we are breaking out from. So that's fantastic, right? We got a lot of signs, a lot of reasons. And of course, this may be the biggest reason why we started coming up, because the Jim Cramer effect. Jim Cramer, just 2 weeks ago, again, told everyone to get out of crypto. He actually tweeted before this. Also, he said something about selling off your Bitcoin and selling off your friends, or something like that, right? So maybe this is the reason why we started coming up, because of good old Jim. And generally speaking, you do the opposite of what Jim says. At least with crypto, you make a lot more. So that could have been a bottom indicator as well, right? So got a lot of reasons why we're flipping above. It may not be any one of them. It could be a combination of all of them together, right? Nevertheless, we are heading higher, and we're at a level unseen in so long. so long. 2022 was a horrible year, but 2023 we're off to races and could wipe out all the bad times very, very quickly. Yep. Also, what's helping is the short liquidations. Okay. So you could see right here, the last 24 hours, about 400 million liquidations, most of it on the short side, right? So the bears definitely not feeling very well right now, even though looking at this, doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look as bad as this point right here. So you can see over here, you have like 50 million, 172 million, 13, 50 million, right? But still, close to 400 million shorters being wrecked, right? And of course, when you have that happen, you have a short squeeze, adds to the buying pressure, and that's fantastic. And as Bitcoin heads higher, you're going to have more shorts getting liquidated and more short squeezes. So, good. Good overall. Good overall. All right. What else is going on? Well, according to Glassnode, 1.4 million could be lost forever. Okay, so this is important. I remind you guys this often, that even though Bitcoin seems like there's a lot of Bitcoin floating around. 19.6 has been mined, right? But realistically, out of the 19.6 million, first of all, 80%, 80+% is held by long-term holders, right? So you subtract that off. Out of the remaining 20%, millions of it is gone forever. This is saying 1.4 million. In fact, I've heard estimates as high as 7, 8 million Bitcoin lost. Because think about it, early on, people were mining Bitcoin for fun. They could have mined a million Bitcoins, and then the hard drive crashed or they lost their keys or whatever. It has happened. There's so many people from from the early stages of Bitcoin, they didn't really take it seriously, or due to some malfunction, they didn't know how to safeguard their keys properly, right? So an important thing to remember, Bitcoin is scarce. It's very scarce. And it's only going to get more scarce as we move forward with each and every halving event. But out of the circulating supply right now, it's not 19.6 million. If you subtract out the lost Bitcoin, it's more like 15. I would say it's probably 15, 14 million. And out of the 14 million, probably 90% plus is being held by holders. So there's very, very little that's actually being traded, swapped between people. And that is why long term, Bitcoin will head higher, because there's such a limited supply and demand keeps going up. It's really that simple. And now Bitcoin is worth more than Bank of America and Morgan Stanley combined. Think about that. Bitcoin pretty soon will be worth more than the biggest company out there, which is Apple, right? At one point in time, it was getting close. It was like top 5, top 6 or something like that. We're a little bit of ways off from there, but eventually Bitcoin will be the most valuable company on earth, if it was a company, which we know it's not. But it's just interesting to compare the market caps, right? All right. Outside of Bitcoin, what about others? Today is definitely led by Bitcoin. You could see the 24-hour change. Bitcoin is leading. Very little altcoins are outperforming it today. There's a few like Solana, Cardano, right? Some of these other ones, but Ethereum has been lagging, quite surprisingly. You figure Ethereum should be going up because it's become deflationary once again. So I saw this headline, 4.6 billion in Ethereum up in flames since EIP 1559. What are they referring to? They're referring to the burning and plus the issuance being dropped by over 90%. So if you look at Ethereum right now, it is deflationary. Since moving to proof of stake, not only did all the new issuance get burned, but we're below that. We're at minus almost 3,000 ETH. Versus if you were not, we were still in proof of work instead of proof of stake, you would have plus 1.5 million ETH. 1.5 million ETH since then to now would have been issued versus minus 3,000 ETH. That's a big difference. Huge difference, right? But it's not just burning. Ethereum is still the big dogs when it comes to smart contracts, smart contract deployment. And you could see in 2022, especially Q4, I mean, things just jumped up in a big way, right? Even though prices have been low and suppressed for so long, development has not been suppressed. Development continues to go upwards. That's what we want to see during a bear market, during lows, right? We want to see development move forward, and certainly they have been. So very encouraging. So Ethereum is looking good. Cardano is going up still today, pretty good, almost 10%. A lot of people are very excited about their very first stablecoin, DJED stablecoin, created by Cody, by the way. Not a lot of people know that. But DJED is supposed to come out this month. So, I mean, we only have a couple weeks left, right? Or maybe 1 full week left before, like 1.5 weeks. So it's about to come out. So a lot of people are very excited. According to this, DJED has like partnership with how many hundreds? 40 partnerships. So a lot of projects are looking forward to enable DJED. Like, for example, here, the Wing Riders DEX. I'm sure every single DEX will be integrating DJED when it comes out. And, very exciting. They're boosting their DeFi ecosystem, right? And Cardano is looking to upgrade in February. So they're going to add in Schnorr cryptographic signatures to make it easier for developers to build cross-chain apps. That is something that Cardano is trying to do, is basically make interoperability more easier, let's say. And also they developed a framework for side chains, right? Overall, still a lot of developments happening within Cardano. So again, building while things are low, that's great. As for Solana is just coming up because it was so oversold, because FTX FUD, everyone was dumping Sol, right? But Sol is coming back in a big way. And the state of Sol Q4 2022, what has happened? I mean, honestly, nothing, right? I mean, the dApps are still there. The DEXs are still there. The users that are holding their bags of Solana are still there. Really, nothing has happened. But now, people are coming back and getting used to the fact that, Solana is still a viable project. It's still one of the fastest and biggest L1s we have, even though they got a couple black eyes from, FTX. Still, they're still one of the bigger ones, right? So that's why people are buying back. And really, there's no other new news. I mean, transaction count is still high. Still a lot of people trading NFTs on Solana. So this is the reason why they're coming up in such a big way right now. Shib also making a little traction. The Shibarium L2 launch is imminent. Maybe by the end of this month, right? Whoever the lead developer is has been tweeting about this, but without giving exact dates. So this could also be right around the corner. So there's a lot of developments happening, a lot of things being built right now. And again, that's what we want to see. We want to see the entire ecosystem get stronger. We want the foundation of these L1s and L2s to become bigger and stronger. And when we come back up, when we head into the next bull run, that's where you really see them shine, right? So, good stuff. What else is there? Since I saw this, Fed seized almost 700 million of FTX assets from SBF. Remember when SBF claimed he only had 100,000 left in his name? Well, that 100,000 turned into 700 million. So, just thought I'd bring that up there. That's pretty much it. Overall, Bitcoin still trending up. Oh, I forgot. I have to come back to this. So where can Bitcoin go, right? I already drew out these lines. I had these lines forever, and we're finally touching upon them, right? So right now, Bitcoin at 23.2. Where does it go head next? Well, it's pretty obvious. The next line is 24.2, right? So we touched upon that back in August, okay? And then things went a little sideways. Actually, went down because we had some macro FUD. Then we had FTX, right? FTX did this and we wiped out FTX, but we had some macro FUD over here too. So we're trying to wipe that out. So I do believe the next level we're going to hit is 24.2, 24.3. And that could be imminent. That could be by the end of the day. The way we're going, it would not surprise me we hit 24.2, 24.3 by the end of the day. Now, after that is where it gets really interesting because you can see we fell down. Okay, so just going back, the timeline of things. Okay, this right here, right around this point, somewhere around here is when Luna crashed. Okay, so before Luna crashed, Bitcoin was already weak, but we were still in the 40,000 range, right? Looked like we were going sideways a little bit. Luna crashed, brought us down to the 30,000 range, right? Hovering a little bit below 30,000. Then we had this, which is Celsius, Voyager, ITrustCapital all falling at the same time. That's what brought us even lower, right? So next stop would be this 31,000 mark. If we break through 24.2, 24.3, you could see we fell down very fast. There's no in-betweens other than maybe over here like 29,000, but still close enough, right? We fell down very, very fast. So from a technical standpoint, there's no resistances basically, right? As we're heading higher, there's no supports. As we're heading higher, there's no resistances. So if we break through 24.3, we're going to be right back to 30,000, which means we would wipe out all the FUD around, again, Celsius, Voyager, ITrustCapital, right? That would be amazing. That would be amazing that we're still only in the first month of January and we could wipe out how many months of FUD? This goes all the way back to June of 2022. So that's like 6 months. 6 months of down and sideways movement, right? Can we really just wipe all that out with a terrific recovery and terrific pump and FOMO bring us back to 30,000? Man, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. Now, a lot of the short-term indicators, like on a daily scale, does show Bitcoin is very overbought. But, those indicators really mean nothing when there's FOMO. People are definitely FOMOing back in. People are getting excited again. People that's been sitting on the sidelines, that's been waiting for a bottom, hearing about all these people talk about 10,000 and 8,000 and all this nonsense levels below. Right now, they're feeling it. They've been hearing others talk about it, and they're like, "Why didn't I buy?" Right now, they're panic buying because now we're 6,000 higher than our 15 low. Right. So the indicators really mean nothing when there's a lot of people that's just looking to buy, itching to buy because they're afraid of missing out. Right. So it'll be interesting. Very, very interesting. If we don't break through here, right, there's a chance that, we come back down again, maybe right back down to 21, 22. If we can't break above and hold above this 24.3. But the way we are going right now, let's just bring a volume. Volume is a little bit higher, starting to trend higher, right? So we're definitely seeing a lot more buying, and we could definitely push right back to 30,000 if we get that momentum going, right? So exciting, very, very exciting. All right, let's do some Q&A. Ninja Lock 1, first time chatter. Welcome. Gina wants a part in your new SBF saga. You mean SBF Adventures? I gotta think about a script for the second episode. All right. We got a lot of people tuned in right now. A lot of people feeling good. You know, when things come back, they come back really, really quickly, right? The more oversold you are, the harder to bounce. And Bitcoin at 15 was definitely very, very oversold. So we're definitely seeing a good bounce. Vegas in November for F1. I did not know that. That would be a good time to go to Vegas in November when it's traditionally cold everywhere else. How do exchanges acquire BTC? They do it through OTC market. They sell to each other if necessary, but a lot of them hold on a lot. And plus, there's depositors, right? People that deposit Bitcoin and trade it for other things. Okay, I'm still trying to catch up here. Richard Choi, do you plan on selling BTC at the top of the next bull run or hold it 5 to 10 years? No. I mean, what's the best way to obtain financial freedom? I mean, it really depends. You got to think about financial freedom means a little bit differently for everyone, right? For you, if that means just to quit your job, right? Have a goal. Actually, just write down like how much you spend, right? Every single year, how much you make, how much you need to be able to quit that job, right? And kind of do what you want. Doesn't mean that you retire. Doesn't mean that you just retire completely, right? You don't want to do that, but you get to do whatever you want if you're not chained down to a 9-to-5 job, right? That's different. So you got to figure that out, right? And make that your goal. And once you hit that goal, right? Great. Then you could cash out at that point, right? And you don't have to do 100%, right? If whatever you have, let's say, breaks through that. Say your goal is $1 million, and then you're now at 1.5 million at the peak of the next bull run, right? You could take out your million and leave the 500,000 there and hold it for the next 5 to 10 years, right? Watch that grow to a few million in 5 to 10 years. So it's really, I guess it really depends on what your definition of financial freedom is, right? But I do think a lot of people get confused between like retirement and financial freedom. No, it doesn't mean that you just retire. It just means that you get to do whatever you want. So you're not burdened by doing something that you don't want. Hopefully that helps answer that. Alex, my wife and I finally became a full Bitcoin holder an hour before the pump. Congratulations. You already made, what, $1,300 since then, or $1,500 since then. Congratulations. Becoming a whole coiner is a big achievement and very hard to do. Very hard to do. Terry, Chinese New Year probably hit for you already. Hasn't hit for us. It's tomorrow, right? So it's looking like Chinese New Year is bringing some good luck to the crypto space right now. So, good. EK, should I file what I lost on Voyager as a loss? What if I get some of it back? Well, that's the thing. If you file all of it as a loss and you get some of it back, then it counts as income, right? So it depends on what you want to do. Or you can claim half loss and then see if you at least get half back. I think Voyager will at least give half back. Or Binance at least will give half back. But it was, before it was reported that they were going to give 70% back when FTX bought them. So, I mean, it just depends. It's easier if you just file 100% loss and then add in the income later. Wow, 23.3. We just keep going. I mean, 24, like I said earlier, 24.3 is, in my opinion, guaranteed. But it's not guaranteed that we're going to break above and hold. We can certainly hit that as, you know, as a top resistance and then come back down, right? Bitcoin has done that before, like right here, right? We were not able to break through 24 and then it came back down. We could certainly see something like that happen. But right now, volume is exploding. Momentum is shifting upwards. Everything else that I've said, Jim Cramer calling a bottom, you know, it's bringing a lot of FOMO back for sure. How do you file taxes after FTX collapse? Now there's no access to history. You have to just do it manually. Fixture deals. I actually promised that I would play Fortnite if Bitcoin hits 25K by the end of the month. I may have to do that because someone said that on Twitch, and I may have to do that. Ben's Sack, is it a good time to keep buying or wait? Obviously, you don't want to buy when things are going up. You want to buy when things are going down, but no one listens to that. Everyone buys when they wait for a confirmation of a reversal, which usually happens when things are going up, right? So I still say dollar cost average. If you want to get in some of your favorite alts right now, right? Best is probably to wait until they cool off. Short-term indicators do show that the entire market is very overbought. So we could definitely see, consolidation, a little bit of a correction, a little bit of fall, right? Which looked like it was happening right around the 20,000 mark. So you could see over here, stochastic was 100%, right? It wanted to fall. And then RSI was at 90, wanted to fall, right? And you could see MACD falling down too. So it looked like Bitcoin was going to fall. And it did, just slightly though, barely. And then guess what happened? More buying and it pushed us higher, right? So sometimes the indicators are just, they work until they don't, right? FOMO trumps everything. FOMO and panic selling trumps everything. Doesn't matter how oversold or overbought we are, it could continue its path because people are either buying or selling, right? But the smarter thing to do is buy when things are going down, when others are panic selling, right? That's what I've been saying. Or you just do DCA. Take the guessing out of it. This coming Wednesday when I do DCA, the portfolio, if we continue to trend higher, the portfolio would have made a tremendous recovery from last week. It's been recovering, but this week we have gone up so much. We're going to see a really good recovery. So we'll see. We'll see on Wednesday night. I will protest if you don't have a Fortnite stream. I never, ever, ever played, and my kids stopped playing it too. They were really addicted to it. Now they don't play it anymore. As for our debt ceiling, I made a big deal about that. But supposedly we have another 6 months before, or 5 months before they have to figure it out. Most likely they will up the debt ceiling once again. It will be a never-ending cycle. The U.S. and everyone else, they don't plan on fixing really anything. They just want to continue forward with raising the debt ceiling and printing out more money when needed and selling more bonds when needed and just keep going and going and going and keep overspending. And it's a endless cycle. They just go passing on. They're just go passing on until all these Congress people are not around anymore, and they're like, it's none of our business anymore, basically. Adrian, Omi, Vivi, I think they're still rocking their NFTs right now. They have changed their platform a little bit, but, you know, NFTs got really cold, so that's why they went down. But they still have a lot of good licensing, which could help them in the future. So I think they're still a good project. Pat Jr. I don't know why. I can see you. Rich, yes, it's only January. That's the thing. Man, let's just say we break through 24.3. We head to 31, right? And we stop there for a little bit. We consolidate there for, let's say, until like April or something like that, you know. I mean, that would be perfectly fine. And then, you know, after that, I mean, we're talking about getting to like 37,000 to 40,000 as the next resistance. I mean, wild. On a weekly scale. Yeah. I remember this. I showed this before. On a weekly scale, the 200 moving average, see, that's right there. That's at that 24.5. Bitcoin has traditionally used this as a really like a solid support. Previously, you could see we used it as a support. We dropped a little bit over here, and then we bounced up it really good, right? This is the only time where we didn't bounce back hard because we had so many companies go under. Technically speaking, we should have just been hugging this line, and we should have been above it, if not, you know, FTX, Celsius, Voyager, and BlockFi, and everyone else in Genesis not going bankrupt. If we didn't have those companies go bankrupt, you could argue that all of our time down here would not have happened, and we're just above this, you know, 24 mark, right? So we're pressing against it. We're not quite there yet, but breaking through this will be very, very, very bullish. Very, very bullish, because that's seen as the ultimate bottom. And if we break through that and utilize the bottom again, that will be a tremendous thing. And we're coming close to that. What else? Casper promising L1. I looked into it. It looks promising. I don't know if it has the same momentum as the others, but it looked promising. 30 words or less, why I buy NFTs. They're the future of contracts. That's less than 30 words. Kelly. Gala, Algorand, Litecoin, Radex, Parsk, I think, BTC ADA. These are some of my favorite things. When these top out, sell half and all into Bitcoin. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. One reason, even if you're Bitcoin maxi, one reason to buy alts is to gain on Bitcoin, right? You might not believe in the potential of alts or the future of alts, but there's no doubt during bull runs, alts move way faster, way faster than Bitcoin, which is why Bitcoin dominance is only in the 40% right now, low 40s, and it was in the 30s. Traditionally, if you look at all the previous bottoms, Bitcoin dominance is at like 70%. So another strategy to gain on Bitcoin is to buy alts, right? And then sell it, and then buy Bitcoin with it, and then you're gaining on Bitcoin. That's what you want to see. But unfortunately, the reverse happens too, because if you hold nothing but alts, and then Bitcoin starts going up, right? Then you see the overall value of Bitcoin go down, like the overall portfolio, because a lot of portfolio managers, you could click between like fiat and Bitcoin equivalency, right? The Bitcoin equivalency of your portfolio starts going down when Bitcoin outperforms your alts. So that sucks too, right? So you gotta, that's why I think just having a right balance, diversified, right balanced portfolio is the best way. Man, on a shorter time scale, this just keeps going. We were sideways, and now you could clearly see what's happening here. Yeah, something like that. Does the macro environment support us going to 30K? Yes, right now it does. We have the Powell speech, FOMC meeting, February 2nd. I think most think that it's going to be very dovish because inflation numbers keep showing that we're going down. So that's good. DXY is starting to come down. These are major macro factors that people look at. And the DXY going down is also very bullish for Bitcoin. So right now, yeah. Telos EVM, it's another layer 2. They're supposed to be very fast, but I think they joined some with some other companies or something a while ago. But they're built on the EOS chain, which is supposed to be also renamed. I don't know what's going on with that. What's your thoughts on Remark? I have no idea. Never heard of them. Never heard of them before. Someone said, look at Ape. Was Ape jumping today? Yeah, Ape is doing good. Aptos is going nuts right now. I still don't get the hype over Aptos, but they're going nuts. A lot of projects, a lot of L1s are recovering. ApeCoin is recovering. I still think they have huge potential because Yuga Labs, they keep creating more incentives for people to buy their NFTs, and I'm still waiting for their metaverse to be out. With Solana having a really good recovery day, Cardano having a good recovery day. BNB is really lagging. XRP is really lagging. Doge is really lagging. Polygon is. I'm quite shocked that Polygon has not moved more. So I think the lagging ones could see, and Ethereum too. I think they could see some love soon. You tend to see like cycles where, a certain group of alts pump up, then they slow down, and then others go up. It usually comes in cycles. Why is H-bar being talked about all of a sudden? I don't really hear anyone talking about H-bar. Eagles or Giants? I have no idea, man. I have no idea. Not paying attention. Yeah, this is going to be huge. When Bitcoin breaks above the 200 weekly moving average and breaks above this previous resistance level, this will be huge. We could go up really quickly after that to 30,000, but we'll see. Bitcoin is, I mean, on a weekly scale, it's not overbought. On a weekly scale, we got a lot more room to grow. You could see RSI over here versus, well, my camera's kind of cutting it off, but you could see RSI right now is only about 58 on a weekly scale, and we have gone up as high as basically 100. Okay, so we're definitely not overbought on a weekly scale, but on a daily we're at 90, right? So we could probably, I think most likely we're going to cool off a little bit right around here. Okay, and then after we cool off, we break through. I think that's what's going to happen. But you know what? FOMO trumps all. FOMO makes all these lines and everything irrelevant because when people want to buy, they're going to buy. Kate, I got in 2013 when Bitcoin first hit $1,000. And then I got into mining, but mining already shifted to ASIC miners, so I bought a whole bunch of GPUs. And back then it was really hard to get GPUs too, kind of like, in 2022 or 2021, I should say. And I got into Litecoin mining, and I mined for like, I don't know, 6 months or 4 months, something like that. I think probably 4 or 5 months. And in 2024 is when things came down, right? So kind of sucked. I got out. And then didn't really pay attention until early 2017 when Bitcoin hit 1,000 again, and that's kind of how I came back. Old Saucy. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to get views on Rumble for sure. Rumble's search and recommendation engine is just nowhere close to YouTube's. Any thoughts on Algorand? Right now, no. I had big hopes for them during the World Cup, and actually they sold off during the World Cup, which is quite surprising, but they had a big partnership with them. But Algorand overall isn't promising L1, and they're still figuring it out, trying to grow their ecosystem. I wanted to ask last time about sitting on USDC while living in Germany because dollar is losing power against euro a lot and very quickly. Well, it really depends. Is it really losing against the euro? Because euro was, 0.96 euro to USD. 1 euro, yeah. The euro has been coming back. So if that's the case, and the euro is coming back against the USD then holding USDC is hurting you. You would rather just hold cash. So that's interesting. I'm wondering why that is. I mean, the dollar losing strength against other currencies is good, but the U.S. is definitely leading in terms of stabilizing with inflation, right? Europe, the Eurozone inflation is still above double digits, and the war is still ongoing. So I'm curious what's driving the euro higher again. All right, guys, I'll let you go. Today, overall, it's been a really good day. 23.3. I showed you guys what to expect. You know, we have a couple levels to break. One of them, I'm pretty sure we will break soon, maybe even by the end of today. The other one probably will take a little bit longer, right? But overall, this is why we stay strong, why we DCA low, right? For recovery days like this, and there will be a lot more to come. So, smash a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. In the meantime, if you want to have some fun, go check out SBF Adventures, which I posted last night. Also posted another video on I Am George, too, if you are a Tesla fan. All right, guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye.